So today we're diving into something kind of different. We've got this text, and it's a real mix, right? Part French, part English, and honestly,
Yeah,
like right off the bat, it's the language that grabs you. It's like intensely sensual,
absolutely.
evokes all these feelings even before you really dig into what it's saying.
It's interesting you pick up on that sensuality because I think, a lot of times people see poetry or poetic language and they go right to like, oh, it's just pretty words. But here, there's something deeper going on.
Totally.
This isn't just describing a feeling, it's about the act of creation itself.
Oh, interesting.
The speaker's reading, writing, asking questions. It's like we're right there in their head as they
Yeah.
try to make sense of things.
And isn't that like the heart of it all?
Yeah.
That struggle to create, to find the words?
Exactly.
Speaking of words, there's this one image that really jumped out at me. Those ripe fruits. It's such a loaded phrase, right?
It is, and it's interesting you say ripe fruits because the actual phrase is melons mers, which means okay.
Ripe melons. It's specific, and I think that specificity is important. It's not just any fruit, it's melons, which, they have a certain connotation, right?
Right. And ripeness, it's not just about being ready to eat, it's about potential, about something being full and juicy and almost overflowing.
Precisely. And I think in the context of this piece, that ripeness speaks to a kind of creative readiness. It's
Yeah.
like the speaker is on the verge of something, maybe a breakthrough, maybe a confession, maybe...
Give me connection.
Because there's definitely a sense of longing in this piece, right?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
that longing, that desire, it leads us to this really pivotal moment in the text. The line is, eh bien, pourtant, oui, j'ose, which translates to, well, however, yes, I dare.
Ooh, I dare. What a loaded statement. It's like,
Yeah.
what is the speaker daring to do?
Right. And the text doesn't explicitly tell us, which just makes it all the more tantalizing. But given everything else we've discussed, the sensuality, the longing, I think it's safe to say that the speaker is daring to take a risk, to pursue something or someone that they deeply desire.
Yeah, yeah. And the response they get, it's interesting because it's playful, almost teasing, but there's this underlying current of like respect and agency.
100%. And that's what I find so compelling about this piece. It's not just about desire, it's about how we navigate desire in a way that's healthy and respectful. That line, it's like, the body is yours. Yes, do what you want, especially if it makes me happy. It's incredibly intimate, but it also draws these very clear boundaries.
Yes, exactly. It acknowledges that both people have desires and that those desires are valid. And then there's that ending. Just, wow, quelle femme.
Yeah.
Like, talk about leaving an impression.
Right. That final exclamation is just, it's everything. It's admiration, it's awe, it's respect, it's the speaker recognizing the other person's audacity, their willingness to be open and honest about their desires, and I think their courage in expressing those desires.
It really makes you think about the connection between desire and creativity, doesn't it? Like how our desires can fuel our art, our work, our lives in general.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that's often overlooked or even shamed in our society. We're taught to suppress our desires, to see them as something to be controlled or hidden. But this piece reminds us that our desires are a part of who we are, and they can be a source of immense beauty and power if we allow ourselves to explore them. What resonates most with you from this deep dive?
I think what gets me is how this short piece, this fragment, manages to say so much about creation, about desire, about the courage it takes to be vulnerable and authentic. It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful art comes from the most intimate, most human experiences.
Well said.
And that's our deep dive for today.